Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another edition of my team selector ahead of tomorrow's game against Bournemouth in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea hoping to get back to winning ways in the league after that really disappointing defeat to Everton. And similarly, you can connect it, even though there was that Villa win in between it, the defeat to West Ham, because there is that similar feeling going into Bournemouth that Chelsea come up against an opponent who aren't in great form, won't have a lot of confidence, have some key injury issues going into the game, that we underperformed. We probably expected to win and we weren't clinical enough and we got punished for it, as you can in the Premier League, and Chelsea really need to perform well. The good thing is, if I look at the components, the positive aspects of the Lille performance, if we can replicate that, but the key thing for me is adding on to that those good things and those good aspects is being more clinical. That's really the story of our season. It's being more clinical when you're on top, is taking those chances. And that's going to be the key thing for Chelsea, because as you can see, even when you're really dominant in a game like 2-0, like we were against Lille, it takes literally one moment and the game turns and it becomes a very stressful ending. And Chelsea really haven't been able to have what I think is a really positive game at home in terms of putting in a lot of goals and really a dominant performance. If you look at most of our wins at home this year, they've been 2-0s in the league, they've been 2-1, they've been close games. The key thing for Chelsea is, can we finally replicate some of the attacking prowess we've had away from home and replicate that at Stamford Bridge? Let's hope tomorrow can be that day. Just going into the pre-match press conference, Frank Lampard, of course, spoke about tomorrow's new contract, which is great news, finally announced. Brilliant news. I thought it would maybe take a little bit longer, but of course, as I uploaded my Let's Talk Chelsea, which discussed rumours of it, it was announced and confirmed. So that's great news for tomorrow, but he is out of the game once again with that injury he sustained before the Lille game, so that's a bit of a frustration. But yeah, let's go into the team. For me, Kepa in goal. I think Reece James could come back here. Yes, it's hard to sort of drop Dave after, of course, scoring such a vital goal against Lille. But Dave's such a professional. He's such a good player to have, and he could slot right back in there in a week's time against Spurs. But I maybe could see Dave either stay in the team at left back, but I'd like to see Reece James come in here. I think it's a good chance to bring him back into the team. A little bit of rotation in that area, and the back two for me is going to be pretty much the same. Kurt Zouma, Antonio Rudiger. I thought they worked really well. Yes, we still did concede a goal, but as I've said before, it's about collectively as a team, not just on the centre backs. And I think most people agree both of those work quite well for the game. So let's hope they can continue their good form tomorrow. Left back for me, Emerson. He set up the second goal with a brilliant corner, which is an area Chelsea need to improve on with set pieces. So I think for me, Emerson, it was a good night for him, and let's hope he can continue and grow in confidence in that area too. Midfield is interesting. In Frank's press conference, he spoke about rotation in this area. I think there's probably only one player I could see, just based on the amount of minutes he's played recently, probably being rotated for me. I think it's going to be Jorginho Kante. I'm still going to go with Kovacic, because I think Kovacic has been absolutely wonderful this season. But maybe you might have seen it the other night where maybe he was flagging a bit because of tiredness. That may be a case where Mason Mount comes in that area. I think Mason Mount would be the player to replace Kovacic. But it's hard for me to not put Kovacic in this team at the moment. But that's maybe where the rotation does come, because you do need it at this period of the year. But that was such a good midfield three the other night. So let's hope they can continue their good form as well. And then going into the front three, Christian Pulisic. He could be rested. He's played a lot of minutes as well, a lot of 90 minutes games. He was taken off early against Lille, but most of the time recently he's played full 90. So that, of course, is going to take its toll, especially on a young player coming into the Premier League. But at the same time, he's such a threat. He looks so good. He's another player that needs to be more clinical. He gets into so many good positions and looks like he can be such a threat to the opposition. So let's hope tomorrow he can get back to scoring ways, because his goal record has been good recently, but let's hope he can get back on the score sheet. So for me, Christian Pulisic on the left wing, Willian on the right wing. He set up the first goal for me. If he continues performing this way, continues contributing, he's going to be selected by Lampard. It's pretty simple on that. And, Callum Hudson-ODOI, there's been so much abuse about him recently, and it's frustrating to me how much criticism there has been. Considering his age, considering the fact he's come back from a really horrible injury, it's going to take him some time. But as Lampard has talked about, there is a chance for rotation. He could come in here, he could come off the bench, make a good impact, and then he gets himself back in the team. There's always that possibility. But for me, still going to be Willian, and of course up front, goal scorer from the other night, Tammy Abraham. pretty much, he has been so good recently. Look at the goals, the opening goals. He scores a lot of opening goals, which is so key for strikers. Not just scoring the third and fourth in a game. He really does break the deadlock a lot of the times, and I think he probably will tomorrow if he gets good service. So that is my team selector ahead of the game against Bournemouth tomorrow. Let me know your lineups in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Follow me on Twitter @SideChelsea, and I'll see you again.